diet is just so important. In the beginning of pregnancy, I usually do the whole blood panel and I get a hemoglobin A1C. The A1C is an average of your blood sugars over a 3-month period. If it's 5.7, you're considered pre-diabetic, and you're more likely to go on later in life and be a full-blown, type 2 diabetic. I think 50 to 70% chance of that. So in a way, that's really good information, not just for me, but for that client, so that they can make some major lifestyle changes that could change their whole life and their kid's life.
Welcome to Under the Sun podcast.
I'm Irene.
And I'm Ilea. We're so glad you're here. Grab a hot
or iced coffee and join us as we talk about everything under the sun.
Yeah.
There's I can't remember what birth. I was at a birth in a hospital. It was like one of the last ones I did because I don't do them anymore.
Yeah.
Because I leave traumatized. And
You
I'm
do.
like,
You
I
get
can't. I'm
traumatized. Yeah.
traumatized. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
But I've actually heard it a couple of times of like, oh, like if we don't break your water, it just won't break and your baby can't come out.
And that's my only goal forever is to not have it break.
That's
okay, but like I don't know if the reason, I don't know.
One of the nurses said that, or the doctor?
A doctor.
Oh my goodness.
Was like, if we don't break
lie.
it. Okay, but like in one of the scenarios where someone said that, the family just like looked at me because they knew my daughter was born in call.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she came out and they pulled the sack off of her face.
That. Yeah.
And
that's so cool.
But my face is like, I can't hide it. I'm like, you
I
freaking idiot. Like I just, or you're trying to manipulate this woman.
I think they were trying to manipulate.
Yeah.
Like, how are you an OB? You don't know that's possible.
Either you don't know and you're stupid, or you do know you're being manipulative. Those are your options.
Yes. Yeah.
Because like there's nothing in between because they're not, neither of them are true. So like it's not true.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's, I don't know. Cause like Leo was 9 pounds, 10 ounces after pooping a whole bunch, but she had a 15-inch head. And so,
way to go.
Thank you.
That's great.
But it was really Shannon had to put like clary sage on my tummy and like help me because like I think Shannon believes, which I do not agree, but this is her perception. She was like, I think you were nervous because the camera was like, I'm in front of cameras all the time. My whole life. Like I have I feel nothing. I feel no nerves when it comes to cameras.
Yeah.
I was like, I think because you're talking about like having a relationship with the person.
Yeah.
I think there was maybe a person in the room that I maybe didn't feel super comfortable with, and I didn't realize it until I like learned more about the person and after the fact.
Yes.
And like there's something like I don't know spiritually that maybe like was like this doesn't feel safe.
Right.
I don't know.
Or your body just had to prep for that 15-inch head.
Because I'm like, everyone was like, your water bag is helping you. I'm like, shut up. What are you talking about? And I can't tell if it's because like, was it the water bag? That like, was the water bag actually helping? Or like, was it like shoving a big baby through a tiny thing with a big water bag?
With a big water bag.
Yeah. It didn't feel... I don't know. I'll let you know the second time.
Yeah.
I don't remember I remember feeling Riker was like bony bones scraping.
I felt
like Nova was harder, but she was just bigger. But she didn't scrape. She just blooped. But it was like a bigger, like I had to bear down differently than with Riker because it was just, she was also a pound heavier. Like he's always been long and lean, and she's always been like, she was a pound heavier and an inch shorter. So she's just always been more compact. So I don't know if it was the water making her like this little bubble.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know.
What do you
let me know after. Yeah, what do you think? Because you've had 4.
You've had 4 and you've also witnessed a bunch.
Yes. Yes.
So.
I think when the bag stays intact, most of the time, I think the mom is a little bit more comfortable. But I have had moms that have had, once their water breaks, they're like, oh, just like this relief of pressure, and they just feel like so much better. So, I mean, I think it's just different for each mom. Like sometimes it helps, but it definitely can make contractions a lot harder and stronger.
Oh, okay.
So there's something that once your water breaks and that pressure is relieved, you might feel a relief, but then the uterus, like the muscle, just usually the contractions are a little harder because there's not that cushion.
Yeah.
You just have nothing to gauge it against. It's just like, it's like I can't tell you if it was better or worse, because that's the only thing I've ever experienced. It's just, it's a very new sensation having a whole person coming out of your body.
And I don't think it was better or worse. They were just both different.
And different,
Just different.
Like with let's see, Maya was 42 and a half weeks, and my water broke before labor with her, and it was a long, hard labor, back labor. But, you know, then Julian, it was a lot faster, easier. Yeah. I was at home too, so that was great. I risked out of home with Maya. I'd planned her at home, but my midwife had to cut off at 42 weeks.
Yeah.
So. But she was with me at the hospital, which was good.
That's good.
So, yeah, I don't remember. Julian, it was just easier. And then number 3, Gabby was my smallest baby, but another back labor. It was really hard. I would have totally, I mean, if an epidural was right there, I would have been like, yeah, need epidural, you know, because the back labor was bad. And then with Eliana, number 4, she was my biggest. She was 9 something, or no, she was 9. And it was just 4 hours and easy peasy, you know. So little or big, I think a lot of it just has to do with the position of the baby. Like Gabby was just not in a good position, and the back labor. And
here's something that I wish I would have listened to with Riker that maybe you can explain, because I've actually talked to a lot of clients about this. And Riker was in the perfect position the entire pregnancy. And you told me a lot of times, just do some spinning babies. And my brain was like, but he's in the perfect position. What if I get into spinning babies and he flips the other way? And then after my water broke, he flipped the other way. I was like, oh, maybe I should have listened this whole time. So
I don't
tell
think
everybody,
that would,
like,
you know,
if your baby is in a good position, still do spinning babies.
Yeah,
that's my advice to all of them.
It's a good skill.
I agree. Yeah. I've been to many of their workshops, and I just went again, I don't know, several months ago. And people always ask that question, especially about the forward-leaning inversion. They're like, well, what if baby flips to breech? And
I wasn't worried even about breech. I was just worried about his back going this way, and then it did anyway. So
probably
should have just done it.
So he was on the left. His back was on the left or the right? Do you remember?
I don't. Wait, which way's the way they're supposed to be?
They're supposed to be on the left.
Yeah, because I remember I used to pat his butt over here, and he would push with his feet on this way, and I would like push with his feet. And then right when I went into labor, his back all of a sudden moved over here.
Yeah,
and
that's kind of unusual.
That was so fun. But then that kid was born on April Fool's Day, and it explains him in a nutshell.
His personality. So, that's great. Yep. Yeah, spinning babies, I wish I had known about it. I think it would have like transformed, you know, my births. I think, you know, if I'd known about it earlier on as a midwife and even in the hospital as a nurse, I think I definitely would have seen so much, you know, different outcomes sometimes. So yeah, definitely start at 28 weeks. Don't recline back. You know, sit up, lean forward. Don't cross your legs.
Are you still sleeping in a recliner?
No. Do you even see a recliner in here?
Well, no, but I don't know if you were like sleeping in that one.
No. This one? No.
No.
It doesn't recline?
I literally got rid of it yesterday. Yesterday was a big day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hence also the things that are out there to be taken.
Garbage.
So
yeah, but no, just get on spinning babies. It's free. I mean, Gail Tully is awesome. They made, you know, most everything available for free, and just you can even look at the week by week and the daily essentials video, and it's really good.
That's awesome. Have found, because like I do have some like pelvic pain.
Yes,
and I have found I don't know. Tell me if there's better things I can do. But I have found that on YouTube, I'll just look up pelvic floor, like stretches and exercise in pregnancy. Yeah. And it feels so much better.
Yes.
Than like when the days I do that, I have like days I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant. Totally forgot. And the days I don't, I'm like, shut up, oh God. And
I feel like you're 80 or
like getting upstairs. It's like that single leg activity is what hurts.
Right. So, is it down low? So the round ligaments, another thing I think is going to like a Webster certified chiropractor is really important, or certified in pregnancy. There's also some chiropractors also do some fascial releases, but you could look that up and do that yourself. So and you can feel like if the ligaments tight, sometimes just holding, you know, pressure because the fascia is over everything in our bodies, and it all communicates with each other somehow. And if the ligament's tight, you just, do that gentle release. And then after you do that for maybe 3 minutes, then you can kind of get in and maybe do some deeper massage.
That's amazing that you say that, because I love motherhood, because there are things that happen instinctually.
Yeah.
I do that already. But I've never thought of it as a fascia, massage myself. I'm just this feels good, putting pressure, and then I'll rub it out, and I'm I'm fine. Or
that's great.
I'm now to the point where I stretch and move every day and do the ball stretches or whatever, because it helps.
Yeah.
Just if I don't do it, I have a sore day, and if I do it, I feel better. So I'm I'm just gonna do it because I feel better.
Yeah. And when you're sore, and let's say this ligament's tight, it can pull then the opposite side out of alignment. I mean, so it's not just a minor thing I have pain. It could actually be, causing the baby to be stuck in a certain position, pulling other parts of your pelvis out of alignment. So it's really good that you're doing that instinctually.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm also old and had a baby.
You are not. You are not.
And would I be geriatric if I was at an OB?
Not yet.
No, 32.
Not yet.
Is it 35?
It's 35. Then you'd be geriatric.
Don't cackle at me. No, I'm not laughing at you. You're you could pass for 25.
Somebody at VBS asked
I'm so
me
jealous
if
of
I
your
was,
Hispanic genes.
somebody at VBS asked me if I was Nova's sister, and I was like, this is the greatest day of my
Yes.
my 35-year-old
Let me kiss you.
That was great.
That is. I know. Yeah.
But it's it's spinning babies is I think a really great resource.
Yeah.
That is
It is.
So then I have a question. Do you do that because you want to, or do you do those extracurricular activities we're going to talk about Dr. Sue in just a little bit because you want to, or is it required by the state? And also, is it required of the obstetric model of care? Is that standard? Well, of course I know it's not because we would not be here in this world, in this situation, if it was required. I think it should be required that every OB and every nurse should go to 5 C-sections or whatever it is, 5 C-sections, 5 birth center births, or a natural birth in the hospital, birth center birth, and then a home birth. It should be all the same, so you can see the spectrum.
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree. That would be so good. I mean, and maybe in other countries, I don't know, in the UK, although I don't know, the whole world has kind of gone more medical. But
then there are some people really pulling the reins back. I don't know if were you around? For one thing, I never thought I'd have kids. I was I'm not going to do that, because every story I heard was terrifying.
Yeah.
And I was I was always the one who was no, give me the epidural immediately. I'm gonna scare, I'm not gonna
see that.
I don't
amazes me. I do not see you that way at all.
God changes people.
Yeah,
you can
does.
say that. You can't change your heart, because golly, I'm a different person.
That's a whole
but I just
new creation. Yeah.
So are you? So back to the classes. Can you do you do that because you want to, and you want to be better? Not because the state requires you.
Yeah, no, I mean, what's required for my, to keep my certified nurse midwife, CNM, I have to do a certain number of CEUs, continuing education credits, every year. But I usually end up doing a lot more than is required, because I just love learning. And spinning babies is one of those things that I try to do about every 2 to 3 years, just because they come out with new things, and it just refreshes everything. There's certain things that are just so important for my job and helping the success of the mom. So spinning babies is a big one. And then, the Breech workshop that we're putting on, that's important skills to keep up. I do a neonatal resuscitation every 2 years. That's coming up too in August. And I do one with Karen Strange, which it's all geared for out of hospital birth.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is, it's the same, you resuscitate kind of the same way, but the way she goes over it is just so different and amazing, geared for out out of hospital. It's hard for me to explain the difference. Because I used to do always in hospital when I worked in the hospital. So I've been doing NRP every 2 years since 1997. Wow. So So there's other workshops that are interesting. I do a Gold Midwifery conference. It's an online conference every year because it's hard for me. I can't, just go fly to, Florida or wherever and go to, a fancy conference. So this one I can do every year, at home. And a lot of times they have very interesting topics, but sometimes it's, not related, but I still just do it and get those education credits. But,
Yeah. So then we're partnering with Amie. It just kind of like happened because I've always wanted to interview Dr. Stu. He is an obstetrician who turned home birth obstetrician, and he specializes. He's like the way I've heard it through his podcast and the way he shares it is that like his class or like a couple years after him is like the last time they taught breech, like how to handle breech in the hospital without just doing a C-section.
Yeah. And
so like this art is dying and it's not like it's going to be forgotten if we don't like keep educating on it. But also like, is breech something that you do in the home birth world? Like a lot of people, they think breech and they're like, oh, immediate C-section. That's it.
It's so unfortunate too, because it is a variation of normal. And if you know the process
that's okay.
of, just kind of like I said, the cardinal movements when baby, is a vertex or head down delivery, there are certain movements that a breech goes through too. And when I'm just so thankful for how they're teaching now, because I did go through the Breech Without Borders workshop. Was that last year? I don't know. I think it was last summer. So I'm so excited. I wanted to do this reteach breech with Dr. Stu forever. So it was great because you're the one that got this going.
Well, because I selfishly want to interview him in person and use the footage. I have this dream that it always happens when I'm pregnant and I'm like so big and that like I get back into like the birth world and I'm like, this is all messed up. Not midwifery, but like I'm like the like amount of fear, the interventions, all the things like, and then you watch, it's a great documentary. Oh, what's it called? The Business of Being Born, but it's like in the 90s. And so like, I'm like, we need like an updated one. So like, I want to do like a documentary.
I want
so I'm like, if Dr. Stu comes to town, we'll just use the interview like in congruency with a documentary and ask him questions about like, statistics and stuff and like all the things. So selfishly, I'm like, I want him here for a podcast interview for us because like he's a doctor who's I feel like he has said like I woke up. He's like I was trained and was totally in that model of care until like I think he accidentally went to a
I think
home birth.
Maybe
something.
I know because I've been listening to him for a long time now too, and I don't remember if it was he was backing up midwives and then. They
attended one. And then he was like, oh my gosh. It's like light bulb.
Yeah.
And so
it could be different, but that's what I remember him saying.
Yeah.
Too.
So Amie's hosting. And so like registration is open. So if you're like, I think it's, you can fly in if you want, but like if you're around the Midwest or surrounding areas, like the registration's still open for his class, Reteach Breech, and it'll be hosted at your office. And you'll be a part of the class. And
I'm excited.
I hope this isn't like for some reason. This is the way my brain works. And tell me, like, I think it's just anxiety. But I'm like, what if like the reason this is all happening is because I'm going to have a breech birth?
What? But you can do it.
But you could do it. Yeah, you could do it.
But she doesn't want to.
I don't. You push out a 15-inch head. I'm pretty sure you could do it.
My vagina like closes up every time I hear 15 inches.
And your sister pushed out a baby butt first.
She did.
So you can.
Oh, that's awesome.
Twins.
No,
so
thank you. Yeah. But it can be done.
It can. Yeah.
Well, and I remember Bob, my sister, she gave birth to surrogate twins, and one was born butt first. And she went in, and they were like, "Oh, sure, you're having a baby." And she's like, "No, the baby's like coming out." She's like, "Come on." And the lady was like, "What is it?" Because she didn't
weird.
know what she was looking at. It was a rectum. It was
very strange. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Giving birth to an alien.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have brain fog? Are you lethargic? Do you have digestion issues? Do you not poop enough? Are you pooping too much? Do you have angry outbursts? Does your butthole itch? Irene, does your butthole itch? Don't answer that. Don't answer.
I'm gonna answer.
Well, if your butthole itches, what does that mean?
Question. That means you have a worm.
Or many worms.
Lots of worms.
And I know what you're thinking. Worms? Are you kidding? That doesn't happen.
I've not left the country.
Yeah, it happens. Guys, like, you can go touch the soil in your front yard and get worms from there. Like, because
if you have pets, they lick you.
We're disgusting, honestly. And like food, like produce, if it's not cleaned properly or if it's grown and like, they're everywhere. Yeah. So most cultures cleanse once a quarter.
Yeah. So deworm themselves all the time.
You gotta deworm yourself, and we have the perfect brand for you.
Yes. Rogers Hood is where we get all of our parasite things from. She has this kit. It gives you everything you need. It has 3 tinctures. There are...
And heavy metals, too.
Yep, pulls heavy metals out. It's so great. Yeah. I did it. I'll just say it. I did it, and the very first day that I started the tinctures, an 8-inch tapeworm came out of my butt.
8 inch.
So... And... I mean, I have left the country on like cruises, but it's all sanitary and everything's washed and they're there.
It's just life, and we have to just cleanse regularly. Yeah. So use our code UTSP10 and you won't regret it.
Yeah.
Or like I had a friend who, she was scared because they brought the mirror out and she didn't know what she was looking at, but it was face presenting. Which a lot of people don't know that.
I've had some. Those poor kids look like they got the tar beat out of them. You know, it's just
because
really
they're bruised after,
they're
right?
Very bruised and swollen and petechiae, and they just look.
What's that? Petechiae?
It's like,
God bless you.
It's like little,
Okay.
They're just like little pinpoint red, dots. Yeah,
poor things. But but she said like her husband screamed. She didn't. They were like, what?
Yeah.
And then you're probably like, oh. Is the baby going to look like this forever? Because they're not very cute, either.
Yeah. That poor baby worked hard. Like, that's got to, be pain.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, can you imagine? Because you'd have to be, just your neck all the way back.
This is my greatest fear. And I don't even know if there's anything you can change about it. But my greatest fear is, what is it? The placenta previa.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like then... There's nothing you can do, right? You just have to have a C-section.
Automatic C-section for that.
Because Nova's was lower, and they scared me just enough that they're like, well, and this was early. I think it was like the anatomy scan. They're like, well, it's covering like a quarter of the way, and my brain was just like, for a long time, it was just like, this is it. And this was not at a regular OB, but still like the fear, and it was
and
like,
it takes the joy out of the pregnancy until you realize.
Yeah, but then they said like, well, I was 19 weeks. They're like, well, you could still grow, and it could go up, and then they said, but it also could go down. And I'm like, what if it gets worse?
Who said that? I've never seen.
I don't even know who did the sonogram, but whoever did it.
I've never seen it stay down. It's always goes up. The only thing that would put you at risk for it not growing up would be a scar on the uterus. So that's one of the things with having a cesarean is then your next pregnancy, you have the scar, and it is a potential for the placenta to grow over the scar and then not grow up. But
can you control where it? I've never even looked it up. Can you even control where it attaches? That's not like that.
Like, do you lay down for like a month?
Like, should we be this position or this position? But I was like, I've never actually thought to look it up, except when I'm already pregnant. I'm like, oh, it's too late then. But,
no,
or it just goes where it goes.
Pregnant, the egg and sperm are in the fallopian tube, and then it kind of comes
wherever
down,
it happens
and then
to stick.
it just so it's not during intercourse or anything. That would be cool. Yeah. It's like, okay,
that'd be great.
I'm going to stand
because both of mine were kind of in the front, and it'd be nice to have one in the back.
Yes.
For some extra cushion.
I have a question that was not on topic, but I had a friend who she was like, yeah, when we wanted a boy, we just waited until like the day of ovulation, and then we consummated.
Yeah.
Had sex. And because male sperms are are lazier, and so they need like a shorter travel time basically. And if you want a girl, you have sex like the couple days up, and they're like more patient and will like hang out and be like, hey.
My goodness.
Well, there's actually, I think there is a book on that, and I've had other people do that, but my understanding is that
and maybe I didn't explain it well.
Well, I've heard so that the male sperm are faster, faster swimmers. So that if you ovulate, if you have sex when you're ovulating, that maybe you're more likely to have, you're more likely to have a boy. Mm-hmm. And so the egg is only viable for 24 hours, but the sperm is viable for about 3 days. Mm-hmm. So if you have sex 2 or 3 days before you ovulate, all the male die off because they're faster, but they don't live as long.
Yeah.
And the female, they're slower, but they're more abundant than at the end.
Yeah.
So that's my understanding, but that could be wrong too. I know somebody's kind of figured out some of that stuff, and
okay. I wasn't sure if that was any truth to that.
I've heard
Good.
pH of the vagina too.
I heard drinking our friend said drink a jug of Red Bull.
No, it was like a whole thing because
Red Bull.
Well, this is
I thought you were going to say wine or something.
No, this is a friend of ours who is military, and how it's like The Rock has all girls. He has a lot of girls. A lot of his buddies have all girls, and so someone told him, no, the tried and true way. It's like the guy does all these off the wall things, and then you chug a Red Bull, and then right away you do, but he did have a boy, and a lot of his friends are having a boy, so it's ridiculous.
Goodness, that's hilarious.
But they kind of flipped him off from having girls to like they finally got their boy. So I'm like, I don't know what it is.
Red Bull, they should start advertising that on their commercials.
Yep.
Well, and going back to the breech too, I've got a couple just quick breech stories.
Yeah.
So when I was apprenticing with the midwife, in Arkansas, when I was getting my CPM or my Arkansas licensed midwife, that was down in 2000, 2001. And the first breech I saw was, Candy, it was unexpected. We got to her house, I'm her student and birth assistant. She's in her kiddie pool. Back then, we didn't have the nicer pools, so it was like the fishy pool.
I kind of love that.
And anyway, Candy'd seen breeches before, but I don't think she'd done a breech water birth. But anyway, she let her birth in the water breech, but baby was, just really like floppy coming out, and had to, give it some breaths. And so that kind of, I was like, set up maybe a little fear about breech. And she was delivering, reclining back, not on hands and knees. And that's the way it was taught, that's the way I learned. And then the textbooks where you lay on your back on the edge, and then, the bottom just comes out, and it's like hands off, and the baby just kind of, comes out part way, and then the legs, flop out, and then the head, is automatically supposed to, kind of, and there's different maneuvers you could do if the head was, not flexing. So then let's see. So I think Candy and I had a couple breeches, and then when we moved to Missouri, and I was putting my husband through school, working at the hospital there. There was a Mennonite midwife, and I did births still under the table because the CPM bill, I was helping to lobby and get that bill passed in Missouri. So it wasn't quite legal yet. And there was a Mennonite midwife, and she was super sweet, invited me over, and, just neat, big family. They were kind of like Amish Mennonite.
Yeah.
Because the dolls, the kids had dolls, but there was like no face on the doll. And it was interesting. But anyway, loved this midwife. She's really sweet. And then one time she called me and asked me to come help her with or if I would come help her with a first-time mom breech baby. And I guess she was full term. She'd been to the OB, been seeing the to do an external cephalic version, and I guess it didn't work. And so she was automatically going to be a C-section. And they have really big families. She did not want a C-section because, I mean, back then too, if you had a C-section, they were saying, then
3
everyone's
kids or something.
Yeah.
When I first started in 97, it was so funny how things have changed, because then it was, you were expected, if you had a cesarean, you couldn't just have another cesarean. You had to try to VBAC. But then, I don't know, ACOG came out with something. I don't remember the years and all of that.
Yeah,
and then everything
so
flipped. And then it's like, nope, you cannot. I think it's because they were using Cytotec to induce
Cytotec's terrible.
moms. And then they were having more,
Rupture.
So instead of, quit doing Cytotec, on VBACs, they just say, oh, no more VBACs. Once a cesarean, always a cesarean. So, this young gal and her husband, first baby, she was 40 weeks. And then the midwife, called to see if I could just help assist her. And I did. And I'm really glad God just did, because, it was a 9-pound first baby Breech.
Wow, she had the whole decade into her.
Yes, and I wish we'd known about upright breech birth. That's why I'm so excited about it, because we had her, on her back and did the way that we were taught to do it, and then the head kind of did get stuck, and I had to, go up in and kind of, you put, I think it's Riggin, I don't know. Anyway, you go up and you kind of bring the head down and then kind of do supra pubic pressure. And, baby came out, and of course, it's really floppy, and why didn't we to resuscitate? But anyway, kiddo's fine. I mean, she was just so thankful, and even sent me a picture a couple of years later of him, and just another thank you for helping her. And because, she wouldn't have been able to have, because they don't recommend more than 3 cesareans. And if they're not letting you VBAC, this Mennonite family that wanted 10 or more kids would have had to been stuck at like 3. And each cesarean increases your risk of other complications like previa, the
Uterine
adhesions, uterine rupture. So anyway, that was my, so the hands or the upright breech, I did one, last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was so
What does
glad.
that mean, upright breech? So
upright breech, and that's what, Dr. Stu and then the Breech Without Borders is teaching, to deliver, instead of like how they used to teach, on your back. I could do the doll and pelvis again if you want. But it's more hands and knees.
Okay.
And the baby, it's just better for the baby. Like the movements, they're more likely to make the correct movements. And then if not, they teach what to do about it. So like if the baby, when it, comes out and doesn't make the correct movements, there's ways you can like lift the baby up and reposition or sweep the arms out, or even something just real gentle, like pushing back here can get the baby to flex its head and come out. So it's
such
changed
a skill.
everything. Changed everything.
I also I feel this responsibility to like our community, like, because like if I was a mom, and like you're not educating, like, oh, like suddenly I'm going to be like, it's because it's breech, like, and it don't flip, like suddenly now I'm a C-section. And then if I were to put myself in that situation, like I would be the one deep diving all the things. And then like, what a blessing that like in our community that will be
it is
taught, and not just like,
really
just not forgotten. I mean, we selfishly, like, I want to interview him too. I want to talk to him about all the things, but
I do too.
Like, but also I'm like, what a great, I mean, you already have Breech Without Borders, but like one other.
Now it's not like, oh, great, I got to travel out of my state to have a baby because no one here is equipped to do that.
And
Which
then
causes
sometimes
stress.
midwives can't go. I mean, because we have people do and this and that. So it's nice to have something local that people can come to. I really feel like, I don't know why, like OB should want this skill and to be able to,
but why not when you can just do a C-section in 10 minutes?
And you make more money.
And you make more money.
and you don't care about her future, like pregnancies,
the kids' microbiome, breastfeeding relationship, the
postpartum depression, all kinds of stuff. And her recovery. And I just think, too, definitely for our community, providers should come, anybody. I just interested.
Every OB in Bloomington. Nobody's responded.
Nobody.
Yeah. So,
well, and
I probably was sent to spam.
I've texted so many people, midwives around the state. I know Deb Lawrence down in Robinson, which is pretty far away. I think she's planning to come, and she has some students that are coming, and they asked about campgrounds. So I sent them information about Kamalara just to save money, so they're going to tent camp.
Oh, that's
fun.
so fun.
Yeah.
That's so great.
So she has for sure at least 2 of her midwife students coming, and then I know some other midwives and midwife students coming. And I was going to say too about Breech. I mean, now with going back to spinning babies. So the reason too it's important to keep skills up is because I don't see it as much anymore since spinning babies, and we start teaching these exercises, 28 weeks or so, send them to the chiropractor if baby is breech. The ladies I've had even recently whose babies were breech, they did all this stuff and baby flipped and now are head down. But you just never know. You could have a baby that's head down and you go to the birth and the baby's flipped.
Wouldn't you rather
back
know?
around. And then if you know, then you feel more comfortable knowing what to do.
Well, and I would, as like a mom who's, having her child and hiring somebody, to help this very like intimate / it could be risky. It's, it's not risky, but like, I would rather like if one midwife didn't have breech training and one did, I'd be like, well, just in case, I would like to have this one.
Breech training. I agree. I
also,
agree.
like, there's like, maybe I'm just like an information junkie, but I'm just like, oh, why would you not want to know? I wanted to go to the breech class, and I'm like, I don't work in birth. I take video, but like, I want to know.
Yeah.
So
no, I think it's great. You don't work in birth yet, maybe.
No. Actually, my brother-in-law's girlfriend, we were talking about birth, and then she's not very holistic at all, or like natural minded in the sense of birth. And she was like, you should be a midwife. And I was like, I have no desire. I love talking birth, and I want to like hype up the midwives in the area, get other people to do it.
I love that.
I was like, I would love, but like I worked in the medical field, and I don't like emergent situations. I've done it. I've been on top of people's chests doing compressions. I was like, I don't like it. I don't think it's fun. And
that was not probably a maternity situation. Hopefully.
No. Okay. No, it wasn't. I mean, it was many situations, but it was all like.
Right, because I've not had to do that on a mom. But praise God, that would be.
Well, but like I don't. Again, I'm not an adrenaline junkie when it comes to things like I don't think it's fun. I don't think I go home and I'm traumatized. Like I still occasionally, like once a year, I'll probably have that same dream where I'm like on top of somebody like giving chest compressions. I'm like, this is not it for me.
Yeah,
I'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll educate in that form. Okay, we had. Is the glucola drink mandatory?
No. Not for me. Okay. I mean, it might be for other people. Oh, one more thing really quick.
Sure.
So just to say for the birth center too, and the hospital, even if they are not doing planned breech birth, I hope that people come because they could have somebody just walk in and the butt's hanging out.
Yeah.
So anyway, but so the glucola drink, most of my people opt out of that. They don't want to do it. And I've seen so many moms get headaches and they feel sick and just horrible the rest of the day.
The ingredients are trash.
And even if they do like the fresh test, which is, a better, not as trashy ingredients, it's still 50 grams of sugar that you're dumping in yourself. And then, let's see what happens in an hour later.
Yeah.
And a lot of my moms anyway they just have a lower sugar diet. And to do that, they still feel yucky or maybe they don't pass the test. And then if you don't pass that test, then you have to go on to an even worse 3-hour glucose tolerance test. And that you have to be fasting, and then you do fasting blood sugar. You drink, 100 grams anyway, you drink a high, because the first one's 50 grams. So you drink the 100 grams and then you do 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. And that whole time you have to be fasting.
Yeah. But it's so dumb.
Yeah.
In what scenario, at least not me, like when I'm at home, I'm not like, I'm not downing 100 grams of sugar every hour. Is that like, or
no,
on an
it's
empty
just
stomach?
once. So you're an empty
even
stomach.
Even empty stomach, 100 grams of sugar.
Grams, yeah.
Of like, I mean, if I down 100 grams, which I doubt it, but like, it's like a honey or a maple syrup. We don't even have sugar in our house. So like, that's
a lot of my clients are like that
what
too.
Are we like, why are we even testing this scenario?
Yeah. And then if they fail that, then they go to do a log and, diet. Well, why can't we just go the log and the diet?
Yeah.
If you want to do it, why not? That's what you're going to go to anyway. So makes sense to me. Instead of doing all this stuff and see what happens, let's just do fasting and 2 hour postprandial blood sugars and with the food that you're eating. And that's more, to me, reflective of what the mom's normally eating.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And there's even now some people are doing the continuous glucose monitor.
Yeah.
And doing there's a 2-week free trial you can do of the Freestyle Libre. I haven't had too many people. Some people just want that kind of information because it's, and then it Bluetooths to your phone. I don't know how much EMF is involved. But anyway, then you have a continuous reading and you can see, automatically what you're fasting and when you eat. And that might be good information for some moms that maybe don't have the greatest diet. And they're like, oh, when I eat pizza, then I get this blood pressure or blood sugar spike. But if I have, protein with it or even a bowl of ice cream, maybe they don't have that high of a spike where they would with something else. So then they know like, oh, okay, I need to eliminate these things, which automatically anyway, I think everybody should get Lily Nichols' book, Real Food for Pregnancy.
She's coming on our podcast.
When?
She sent us her assistant sent us her calendar and we just have to pick the date.
Can I just sit on the couch? That would be great.
Well, she's not coming here. We're doing it virtually.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait till that one comes out.
Virtually.
Yes.
So
she's amazing. Yeah. So I have her books and I loan them out, but I do encourage people to get their own book because it's such a great reference and there's recipes.
Oh yeah.
And there's things that I have had clients that, so in the beginning of pregnancy, I usually do the whole blood panel and I get a hemoglobin A1C. And I've been doing that a long time. And Lily Nichols recommends that too. And the A1C is an average of your blood sugars over a 3-month period. So if it's 5.7, you're considered pre-diabetic. And you're more likely to go on later in life and be a full-blown, type 2 diabetic. I think 70%, 50 to 70% chance of that. So in a way, that's really good information, not just for me, but for that client so that they can make some major lifestyle changes that could change their whole life and their kid's life.
Yeah.
Diet is just so important.
Do you know who Procter & Gamble is?
I wish I didn't.
They're the owners of Pampers and Loves. They help fund the murder and mutilation of children. Did you know that?
Which is bizarre for someone who claims to care about your child's rear end.
Not to mention that, but also their stuff is filled with harsh chemicals, endocrine disruptors, carcinogens, like in the diaper on your kids' most sensitive parts. It tells you exactly who they are and that they actually don't care about your kid. They care about getting your money for their product. I have made the switch and I have not looked back once.
Good.
It's with Every Life. They are non-toxic diaper company, but they auto ship to your door and we have a code with them now because I use their product like we always do, guys. We use the product first and then we're like, we reach out. We're like, guys, we want to talk about you on the podcast because we think our listeners would actually really benefit from this information.
Yes.
So, or this product. So, anywho, but we have a code with them.
Woohoo! Code UTSP10.
And you get 10% off your purchase, which I don't think you'll regret at all. It's non-toxic, super soft, really like, it feels like a nice quality. And it's doesn't feel like plastic, if that makes sense.
And they don't support murder. They don't support murder.
Okay, UTSB 10. Bye.
And so anyway, if that were elevated, then I would just do a lot of counseling and have the mom, be tracking her blood sugars with either the poke in her finger or the continuous. And then, but, if it's normal, let's say it's, 5.2 or something like that, then at 28 weeks, then we do, the third trimester labs. And the A1C, they say, isn't as reliable later in pregnancy because the blood volume doubles, it's more diluted. And so it's not as good a test later in pregnancy as in the beginning. But still, so they say that it should be the same or go down. So say a mom is 5.2 and then she goes up to 5.4. Well, I'd probably still want her to hey, let's just do a food diary glucose log for 2 weeks and see what's going on. And I think she does. I don't know. I think they recommend that people do the tolerance test, but not for sure on that. But she is an expert on gestational diabetes. Yeah. So, but since a lot of my moms don't want to do that, and I don't blame them, I think it is better just to do a food log. And then there's some supplements too that can also help lower blood sugar, like inositol, cinnamon, and inositol,
apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar. Yeah.
That's what I did in the beginning, because I told Amie in the beginning, I was like, man, like there's been a couple times where I haven't been able to eat in time, and I get like lightheaded and a little shaky. And so then I started just doing apple cider vinegar, like in a little, like just like a tablespoon in my water before I ate. And then just ate smaller meals frequently. It's just hard in the first trimester because you want to puke anyways. Nothing's good.
Yeah.
And so,
and it's good for your gut.
Yeah.
Helps heartburn.
Which is funny
apple
because
cider vinegar is great.
Everyone, anytime someone's like, I have like
UTI?
I'm on a whole bunch of like Facebook pages, and anytime a pregnant mom comments and she's like, I have such bad heartburn, and I'm like, drink apple cider vinegar.
Yes.
And I was like, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but I was like, I promise you, it does feel better. Also, like I ate raw liver, and like I said, we said
raw liver is great.
It was that made my nausea go away so fast.
That is so awesome.
Yeah. If you can like get past the mentally
too,
then like if you can get your mental out of the way, like it's a game changer.
I agree. Yeah.
And I've used it a couple times since, just like
keep you healthy. Yeah. I mean, it's so good. Yeah. The grass-fed liver. Yeah. So I think that too, the apple cider vinegar, and there's
I derailed us.
Oh, no, vitamin D is the other one I was going to say can help prevent. It's weird because I mean, vitamin D acts like a hormone. I don't know how it works to help prevent or not be as bad gestational diabetes, but it does. It can also help regulate amniotic fluid levels, and most people are low in vitamin D, especially people with darker skin, because they just don't absorb as much. So it's really important, I think, to take vitamin D supplements just because we're not out in the sun as much as we should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they make such good liquids now. So if you're already nauseous swallowing pills, my kids just
add another pill to
every morning. I'm like, open your mouth, and they don't even know they just do.
Yeah, your D3, K2.
Little baby birds.
Yeah,
that's good. That's Dave. I'm like, open your mouth. He's like, what do I take? I'm like, shut up.
Jacob did that for a while. One day he's like, you could poison me, and I'd have no idea. I was like, take this handful of
not until you increase your life insurance.
Of course. Just take these pills. It's fine.
That is true.
Okay, is there anything we didn't cover? Because I feel so bad. We've taken so much of your time.
I don't say we talked about it the last time.
Like any time went by.
But I'm trying to think of what I hear the most from like clients. And like now that I've been doing hair long enough, I have a lot of like grandmothers that are about to be first time grandmothers. And I'm like, let me just calm them down before they take all of that to their daughter or granddaughter.
Yes.
But Riker's cord was wrapped around twice. And you didn't even seem fazed by it. So can you...
I've seen it 4 times.
Calm people down a little bit. Because I even like... I'm not anti-emergency medicine.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in a car accident, please fix my broken bone.
Yes.
But I'll watch medical dramas at home, and Jacob is like, "Why are you watching this?" I'm like, "I don't know.
How can you
I
even
don't
watch it?
know. I can't. I get
My cortisol would
But
be
it,
through
like-
the roof, and I'd be like,
somehow
Yeah.
watching the medical drama chills out my nervous system because I'm like, oh,
Like
that's
ER.
never going to be me. So let me just be down here.
Yeah.
Grey's
But
Anatomy.
the amount of times,
that's what I meant. Grey's
what's the one?
Anatomy. Yeah.
Chicago Med.
kids
I
like
just
that
saw
one.
an episode of Chicago Med. I don't know, I'm like a couple seasons behind. But they're in the emergency room. It's like, the cord's wrapped. Everybody panic. Run to emergency. And I'm like, just plop the cord off his neck.
Yeah.
So can you help some moms or
take a breath.
grandmothers like, let's relax.
Yes.
What's your advice?
It's around the neck, I would say about at least 10% of the time. And it's
for his, it was twice, and he's fine.
and it's usually a nothing burger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's God designed the cord, and even the way it's coiled, the Wharton's jelly, it is designed to stay, unless you're like a smoker or you have really high blood pressure, like preeclampsia. Sometimes they have like spindly little cords, and then they're can be more easily pinched off. But those thick, juicy cords, it can be around the neck a few times and not even see any heart rate changes.
Yeah.
Now, if it's really tight, it could be an issue, but there's a maneuver. So like if it is really tight, head comes out, it's really tight. Midwives, we do this, it's called somersault maneuver, and just kind of, the head here, and then the legs come out, and then you unwind, and then, bring the baby up to mom.
Yeah.
But
you guys do it so fast.
It's so fast.
It's like
I
you
don't even
yeah.
remember feeling. I didn't feel anything. I just heard, it's wrapped twice, and the next thing you know, he was on me. I was like, okay, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, and if it's loose, you just
Which his
or
was
just let
long.
them deliver and just unwrangle them, and they're fine. Yeah,
Because his was extra long. And then Nova's was so short, I couldn't even pull her
Yeah,
all the way
that's
up to my chest.
sometimes,
So I'm like, well,
yeah.
maybe if it's that short, it's probably not enough space to even have. That's just my guess.
Yeah.
Was there
Yeah.
not enough length to wrap around her? Because I did think, if hers would have been wrapped, since I couldn't even get her all the way up without feeling the tug.
Yeah.
I was like, I had like that post panic, even though she's obviously in my arms. I was like, what if it was around her neck? But
Yeah, and the TV dramas, I think
know.
they and
Don't
it's
watch
so
them if you're
sad
pregnant.
because then that's why it gets in people's mind.
Yeah.
And
That's why I think I had that belief of like, oh no, just give me the epidural, because like everything on TV is like the water breaks and then you need to go to the hospital and then
and then the baby's falling out.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
Nope.
yep,
Right. Nope. Yeah.
Nope.
yeah,
And
It's not how it works.
it's not. Yeah. So I've even seen, there was one, I don't know if Shannon was with me. It wasn't too long ago. We saw 2 true knots in the cord.
Oh wow.
And in order to have one true knot, the baby has to like swim around and then through.
Yeah.
So this baby must have done it twice.
Next Michael Phelps, guys.
Yeah.
And even that, I mean, that can be an emergency
Yeah.
if it got pulled really tight. It could be a stillbirth. But
Yeah.
this baby was totally fine. It was a nice, thick, juicy cord, and it was loose, and it was fine.
The placenta and the cord is my favorite part about
Yeah.
like obviously I'm so like excited for whoever the people I'm filming for, or like a friend or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, the baby's great, like you guys are so cute, whatever. But
Yeah.
I just love how like placentas are so beautiful.
They are.
Like the cords, like when
are.
they're fresh, like it's so weird, but they're like red and purple and like depending, like, they're all like very unique. Like some are super like it's just so
super spirally.
I just find it so interesting. I'm like, let me take a picture of your placenta. And they're like, no legs. I'm like, all right.
I love it too.
Yeah.
They are. There's reason, like, it does look like a tree trunk, and then the roots, like the tree of life.
Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna
just
do
beautiful.
a stamp this time of the
Good.
the blood.
Are you gonna have baby and placenta
I'll do
kind of
whatever.
attached, and then if it's long enough, you could just make a nice heart in between,
Aw,
or
that'd be cute.
or even if it's really long, you can put the word love
Yeah.
in between. It's really cool.
Shannon dehydrated Leo's cord, which was very nice of her to
yeah.
do, and she wrote out her name like Leora, and I have it in a shadow box.
really?
I haven't put it back up in her
She's
room
so
yet.
talented. That's
Yeah, and so
beautiful.
it's like that was great, but it's very interesting. I actually had the thought, I was like, I should live stream my birth.
Yeah.
I was like, I should live stream it. What?
Why not? I don't know.
Yeah.
You could.
You
I
could.
don't know.
People do. Like,
Have people done it?
people have done it.
Okay.
Yeah. There was one lady, one of my clients told me about a couple of years ago that did. And yeah, it was really really beautiful.
It's funny because the first time you're like, you want to be really private. And you're like, I want to make sure because I remember the midwife. No, Shannon had asked because I actually didn't know Shannon that well until later on in the pregnancy. But she was like, can I have a nurse, Sherry Zobrist, come and I remember just being like, I don't know, I just don't want that many people watching me. Like, it feels stressful. I don't know this person. And then I'm like, whatever. Like, let's look at the live stream. Like, fantastic.
Yeah. Because your first birth, when Dave called me and said you were in labor, I was like, I'll come over. He's like, no, don't. I was like, okay, but she'd been prepping so much for this fast labor that I was like, okay, but you're going to, if the baby comes out, you're going to be focused on having to catch this baby, and she's going to be sad that she missed her birth. And then now it's like, let's live stream it.
Do people, so when you live stream, because I would be worried, I guess, that some haters would be, can they make comments or?
Yeah, but I'm not going to be looking at it,
you
being
look at the comments.
hashtag blessed.
It'll be me looking at the comments, laughing at everybody for their,
I don't know,
like trolls
chaos,
or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that that's actually going to happen. I'll have to see how they. But I keep telling Irene, I was like, I keep having this feeling that nobody's going to make it. That Dave's going to deliver.
Yeah. I mean,
it could.
It could, but also I'm prepping for about 30 hours.
Although it would be nice though to have the video. I mean, because you're having somebody videographer, right?
That's my favorite thing. And I edited Leo's video, and I loved seeing all the intricacies of it. But
that's the thing that I would be sad for you that nobody would be there to do that. Anyway, and I'd be on my way. So if that does happen, it doesn't really happen too often. But I just have people put me on speakerphone or FaceTime, and usually if it's that fast, I mean, baby comes out, crying, everything's fine, and I just come over and help with placenta and cleaning up and stuff like that. Yeah. So
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's all make a vote. It's either going to be...
Well, let's hope it's faster.
I'm hoping for at least an hour faster, but because, again, a midwife said... And, I don't know why you take things so literally when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but when I was... I told her, I was prone to UTIs or whatever. And she's like, well, most women who are prone to UTIs go early. And that's what she told me. So she's like, so prep for 37 weeks. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. And I was 20 weeks at that time at that appointment. It was our anatomy scan. And I remember being like, okay, wow, that's early. Yeah. And then you go to 42 weeks in one day. And then it's those weeks are insufferable. I wish I never would have had any expectation. I'd rather, mentally, I'm November. It's going to be the first week of November sometime. Yeah. And I'm that's...
Yeah, and they should. That's what they should tell you. And then you're not surprised. That's what I try to tell people. Well, plan to go to, 41, 42 weeks. And then
that's what I should have heard. That's what I needed to hear.
If not, then you're pleasantly surprised. But, if so, then you've already had that in your mind. You're going to go to 42 weeks.
I was so mean the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
really.
I was because my mom had all 5 of us early. My grandma had everybody. Oh yeah. So I had always heard, we just go into labor early.
Your mom is fueled by Dr. Pepper.
That is true. But it's in your brain, the women in my family just go early. So then it wasn't I'm 2 weeks late. By the time 42 weeks hit, I was like, I am 6 weeks late. Why am I still pregnant?
I had the same mental thing game of that was with wild. Maya, because I just have this feeling you're gonna go early, and then I went to 42 and a half. Yeah. So anyway, it was
wild
so hard.
What you absorb. When you're pregnant,
it's weird,
and better logically, but there's a little bit of maybe it'll happen, and that little maybe is where it makes you grumpy.
Well, especially first baby, I don't think like you said, your grandma, your mom, and you just kind of expect or having that put in your head.
Yeah.
You just kind of...
Well, it's my fault for accepting it, being oh, yep, and not
researching it or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about due dates and guest dates?
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's so different, and I don't put a whole lot of stock in it. Now, I won't do a birth before 36 weeks in the home. And even at 36 weeks, I don't want anybody to deliver then because, babies usually are fine. Their lungs usually are mature, but sometimes they don't have enough surfactant. Plus, they're lazy nursers and they want to sleep all the time and they get more jaundice. So I love, the closer to term, the better. And then after, 40 weeks, 41, 42, I can do, like, I have a non-stress test, the monitor. I can do a non-stress test at 42 weeks. I do recommend, although mom could decline, but recommend doing a biophysical profile, which is just an ultrasound to make sure, placenta grade is okay, because the placenta does age, and, amniotic fluid index, and just making sure that baby's doing okay. If baby's doing fine, we can go. I think the longest I've had a mom go is 43 weeks. I've heard other people, though, going more than that. And sometimes dates could be off, and everybody's body's just different. I carried mine over, so they were all cute, chunky little babies. Did fine.
Yeah. And is this true that not bigger babies, but like longer term babies, like say 40 weeks and above, they're usually typically better nursers because they're just like there's more meat on them, and they're like less, I don't know.
Yes, they're more robust.
Yeah.
And vigorous, and they tend to nurse better. Their immune system's more primed. I think they just tend to do a lot better. So,
okay,
yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay, I have one question for both of you. What's something you wish every woman, so not a mom, knew about natural birth?
You want me to go first, or do you want
to? Go for it. I still got. Let me think.
Okay, I know I need it. So you said a first-time mom, or what?
Even a woman who's not pregnant, like
natural birth.
Just like about natural birth. Because I think about like, what would you tell, I don't know, 20-year-old Ilea who was like, no, just shove an epidural in me, and I don't want to like I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to participate. Meanwhile, I gave birth in a tub, and the kid's that's a stark difference. There's a hell lot of growth that had to happen. So like, what would you say to like the 20-year-old cynic?
That is a really good question. I would just say, I mean, your body's designed for this. Our bodies are totally designed for this. There's just so much benefit in a natural birth. I think about, I'm not a hiker or anything. I would totally take a helicopter versus hike up to the top of a mountain. But I kind of use that analogy. Like if you were to, hike up the top of the mountain to the top of this mountain, and you see the scenery, it's hard, but you get up there and you're like, yes, I did this. I climbed to the top of this mountain. It would be totally different than if you did have a helicopter just drop you off at the top of the mountain. You wouldn't have, you'd see the scenery, and it's really pretty, but you don't have that feeling of an empowerment that you did this and your body did this, and how cool that is. So that's, I guess, my thought about a natural birth and going through it. I love to see that in a mom, like, just that you could just tell, like, her face there. That just gives me so much joy that she is like, I did this, I made this and I did this, you know? So I don't know.
Get that runner's high.
Yeah,
talked about
it is a high.
But
it really is. Yeah.
You had the golden post-birth window.
What does that mean?
Like your post-birth was the greatest.
That was the best 6 months of my life.
But later on,
besides work,
when our friends one of our friends went into labor, and I was like, I want to go into labor. I was like, it was great. And I was like, I think it was hard, but it was probably great. Like, you get that runner's high of like running a marathon. I've never run like a marathon, but it's like running a marathon sounds really hard. But they say when you're done, you forget how hard it was. You just want to do it again. So it's
true. And then
there's something about that where it's like, that was probably hard. I probably hated it, but it probably wasn't that like. Yeah. Labor was great. Birth was great. And then
that's true. Like afterwards, you're just flooded with, and just oxytocin and which epidurals and things like that.
I've also never felt more sexy.
Yeah.
Like, which is so weird.
That's awesome. I love that.
Like, I'm gargantuan and in a diaper and like leaking milk everywhere. And I'm like, I am fine. Yeah. Like, I remember looking at, like, and being like, I look fantastic. Which I didn't. I have photos to look back on. I was like, "Ooh,
I'm sure you look great." Yeah, I'm sure.
But
it's
just like there's a really sexy. Like there's a high of like I am fan. Like that. That I did. Like you did that.
Yeah, and then it's a reference point later in life when you know, because trials tribulations, hardships come up, and it's a reference point that you will never forget that, you know, and you know you're strong and you will get through this because, you know, you just have this inner strength I think you get from it. So
there's even like this winter when we had all the negatives and I had to park far away from our condo to walk. And it's like -12 and I'm walking and I'm like grumbling and I'm like, this is so cool. Why do I live here? What? And then I was just, for a second, I thought, I was like, this actually is not as bad as birthing a human. And I was like, and then I walked the rest of my way home just fine.
That's awesome.
Like that. So your reference point for what you can survive shifts quite a bit.
Yeah.
But
I love that.
I don't know. I'd probably have to say, but it's contingent. I'd probably tell people, like, because I've told clients, I'm like, no, when they're getting ready to have a baby, I'm like, you were stronger than you think.
Yeah.
But that is contingent on, I think, having a strong faith. I don't know how someone has a natural labor that has no faith.
That's true.
Because you're not actually that strong. It's like that reaching up past the veil that makes you stronger than you think. So it's, I would tell people you're stronger than you think, but in the back of my brain, it's like, well, I hope they know God because maybe you might not be that strong on your own.
Like I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I love that. I have a t-shirt that I wear to birth sometimes.
I love that. Yeah.
It's true.
It's like, it was the first time I truly like died to myself.
Yeah.
During labor. And I was like, that's like the best gift you can have to be like, to like just come to your end and be like, I don't know. This is terrible. I don't like it. Like really challenging, the hardest thing you've ever done. But then like the high after and then the appreciation after for like the way God designed you and the hormones that happen. And it's like, wow, if I wouldn't have had a video, I would have just been like, no, that was the best day of my life. What are you talking about? Yeah. Because God just designs like,
and the more you think about it, the more you're like, wow, like conception to birth. And even usually the cord is long enough to get baby to the breast, and then the baby nurses and it releases oxytocin, and then that causes your uterus to contract, that causes the placenta to come out, that helps you not hemorrhage. The baby can see that far from breast to your face. I mean, there's just so many cool minute things.
Yeah. God doesn't design broken systems.
Yeah, right.
And like if something happens, it's typically because like we've interfered in some way or like some environmental thing, like, you know, has impacted it. But
our health. Yeah.
So Amie, thank you.
Yeah,
this
thank
has
you
been
for being here.
Thank you. This was so fun. I really love it.
I love it.
So you guys are great.
You're welcome back anytime.
Awesome.
This content is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice.
Please do your own research and find a trusted medical professional for personalized guidance and advice.
We are not responsible for your decisions based on the information you hear on this podcast.
Bye.
Bye.